Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you are doing well. Today I want to talk about portion sizes and how you can start to estimate portion sizes more accurately without having to weigh and measure your food, count calories, count macronutrients, those kinds of things. Now, this isn't to say that I think that counting calories or maybe even measuring out your food from time to time can't be helpful for people, but I just don't think it's a great long-term strategy. I don't think people really want to be counting all the time or having to weigh out their food. It's just not that fun and it's not always that practical either. And I think it can also get a little bit into kind of a mind game of you're just thinking about the numbers and not just kind of eating food and enjoying it. So I have another strategy for you that you can try if you are interested in finding another way to kind of estimate your portion sizes. Maybe you're trying to sort of transition away from counting calories or macronutrients, or maybe you just feel like you're not totally sure what kind of a regular portion size would be and how to estimate your needs. So the way we are going to do this is you're just going to use your hand. And part of the reason this works really well is because smaller people tend to have smaller hands and probably just need a little bit less food in a day. Larger people have bigger hands and probably need a little bit more food, so it kind of self-adjusts. Of course, this will just be a starting point, and depending on things like your health history and your goals and your activity level, you might have to adjust how much of each portion you are eating. But to get an idea of what one serving of different foods look like, you can just use your hand. And the way we're gonna do it is to think of the palm of your hand as one serving of protein. So if you're creating a meal, maybe you have chicken or fish or tofu or some kind of protein source, about the palm size of your hand is going to be one serving of protein. And then your cupped hand, so like a cupped handful, I'm kind of show you here, will be a serving of carbohydrates. So whether that's like a grain, rice, maybe oatmeal, maybe it's a piece of bread or a potato, about a cupped hand is the size of one serving of carbohydrates. And then your fist is going to be the size of a serving of vegetables. So a fist of vegetables, that would be one serving. And then lastly, for fats, thinking about your thumb. And your thumb size is about a tablespoon of fat. So maybe that's olive oil or peanut butter or some kind of nut butter or something like that. So when you are creating a meal, the question is, how many of each of these should I be getting? Again, you might have to adjust these numbers based off of your own personal history or your goals, but in general, I would say for women, starting off with about one serving of each of these, so one palm-sized serving of protein, one cupped handful of carbohydrates, maybe 1 to 2 fistfuls of veggies, because more veggies is always a good idea, and probably one thumb-sized portion of fat. For males, it might be double that just to start off, but again, depending on your own goals and your own personal health history or activity level, you might need to adjust how many of those portion sizes you use per meal. But using your hand to estimate, you can get a better idea of kind of how you might create a balanced plate. Again, maybe if you're going out to eat at a restaurant and the portion sizes are enormous, you can kind of get a good estimate of where would I start with sort of, okay, this is how I could create one serving of each of these things. And then, of course you want to keep evaluating your own hunger and fullness levels, but it can be a really handy, no pun intended, tool to try, and it's something that you can use wherever you go. So again, if you maybe have done a lot of calorie counting or measuring your food in the past and you're trying to transition away from that, or maybe you just feel like you aren't totally clear on what a good starting point is for portion sizes and estimating those, using your hand and using that as your guide to start can be a really great way to just kind of get a better idea of what portion sizes will work for you. So if you give it a try, definitely let me know. Let me know what you think. If you have other questions or topics you're interested in, I would really love to hear what you would like to see more of, or if I can answer any of your questions here. So definitely leave a comment. Subscribe if you like these videos, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you soon.